Good evening. I would like to call to order this regular meeting of the Encinitas City Council for Wednesday, May 10th, 2023, and it is 6 p.m. And if the clerk would please call the roll.
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Blackwell?
Here.
Councilmember Ehlers?
Here.
Councilmember Hinsey?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Lyons?
Here.
Mayor Kranz?
Here.
Record will show that all members of the City Council are present this evening.
Thank you. And if you'd all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
And oral communications, we have 5.
Okay, thank you. And this evening we have a special presentation by, let's see, it is Carlene Moore, the CEO of the Del Mar Fairgrounds, and she's here to present tell us all the exciting things that are going to be happening at the San Diego County Fair this year.
Thank you. Is there anything I need to do to queue up the slides?
You need to look at Warren over there, and he's working on it right now.
Perfect.
There it is. He's getting ready to put it up on the screen.
Great, thank you. So good evening, Mayor Kranz and council members. Thank you very much for having me here today. As was said, I'm Carlene Moore. I'm the CEO of the 22nd District Agricultural Association, also known as the Del Mar Fairgrounds, but most notably for putting on the annual San Diego County Fair, which is really our summer's biggest bash. So this year, the fair begins on June 7th, which means we're less than a month away. And really looking forward to it, including our theme this year, which is Get Out There. It's a celebration of all of the recreational opportunities that San Diego County has to offer, including getting out to the fair. So I'm really excited to be sharing this with you here this evening. And first up, I'd like to share just a short video with you. So as I mentioned, this year's theme is all about exploring our county. And with that, we are very excited about our theme exhibit this year, which every day will have activities as well as outdoor enthusiasts and local experts that'll be on hand to help our community and our guests learn and grow about all that San Diego County has to offer. But before getting to the fair, we also invite everybody to join in on our Get Out There challenge. And this is an opportunity to, again, explore San Diego County, visit the parks and things, the regional parks, and earn, in essence, a badge or a patch, just like when you went to camp as a kid. And you can, there's information about it here, or you can also visit our website at sdfair.com for more details on that. In addition to the parks and the beaches and the trails, again, want to share with you how everybody can get out there and explore the San Diego County Fair this year. As you can see, we have a variety of great grandstand acts this year, all kinds of different genres that range from pop to reggae, country, local rock favorites, as well as comedy. And I do just want to make a note that our grandstand acts are the only aspect of entertainment outside of rides and carnival games that are an extra admission. So while admission to the fair does not include the grandstand lineup, when someone buys a ticket to a grandstand show, it does include all that the fair has to offer. We have a full schedule, 22 days of free performances that are included with admission, including over 250 community performers and entertainment options. That also includes our very popular pig races. And as you can see here, these are all the bands that will be playing on our Chevrolet Paddock concert series stage each day, a number of tribute as well as original act performances. And as part of our summer camp schedule, we also have a series of fun festivals that are included with the fair, and they celebrate everything from music and heritage and inclusivity. We also have a few festivals, as you can see, that we'll call our farm-to-glass options being available. And speaking of farms, anyone can make their own personal discovery of agriculture when visiting the fair. As an example, we also have Agventureland, which is a place where kids can participate in agricultural education programs. In our California Grown exhibit, anyone can visit our camel dairy as well as our petting zoo. And this year, our outdoor garden show is back in full bloom. And like any good summer camp, we offer some friendly competitions. So the fair is a great time to make your way through through a variety of exhibits where your neighbors, in essence, have earned their badges, or also known as ribbons at the fair. We'll also have live sidewalk chalk painting, photo shoots, and other demonstrations. And again, all that information can be found on sdfair.com. We love youth engagement at the fair, and we're very proud of our Plant, Grow, Eat program. So starting each spring, we actually go out and visit nearly 6,000 kids in their schools, and we bring to them agriculture education, and then we actually host them at the fair where they return along with their teachers to show off the plants that they grew from the seeds that we provided them. And that takes place in the farm, in the infield and kids zone each year. And if all of that isn't enough for you, there's always adventures in rides and food. So of course we will have a carnival this year where there is something for everyone, both small and tall. You can go for a spin on the teacups, or take that iconic ride around on the Ferris wheel, or slide down the giant slides and things. We're really excited. This year we have 2 new rides that will be at the San Diego County Fair for the first time. And as always, people can also, test their abilities on the games of skill that we have to offer. But if that's not your cup of tea, and instead you're looking for something more of a gastronomical adventure, we offer 100+ concessions that serve up fair favorites as well as creative culinary options. And while you have plenty of time to walk around and burn off some of those fried and sugary delights, I also wanted to make mention that this year we are offering a plant-based food option as well from the Wicked Kitchen. And so just like our rides, when it comes to the food at the fair, there literally is something for everyone. So how can we help you get to the fair? There are several affordable and even free parking options. Torrey Pines High School, our horse park option, general parking at the fair, as well as preferred. And as well as we also offer public transportation options that includes the Fair Tripper, where buying a ticket on the Fair Tripper the day of includes not only the ride on either the coaster, the Sprinter, or the Breeze, but it includes fair admission as well. Additionally, people can take the Route 101 or the 308 to the Solano Beach train station, show their ticket that day, and hop on the free shuttle to the fair as well. And so finally, as everyone is preparing to, again, get out there in San Diego County and make their way to the fair, we also have ways in which, there we go, in terms of kind of the park entry fee or admission, which again includes all of the entertainment, other than rides and games costs a little bit more, grandstand shows do, but everything else is included in that daily fee. And we, to make it just affordable for everyone, we offer a number of deals and discounts, many of which can be found at some of our local stores and things, also online at our website. Combinations can be put together between admissions and pay one price days in the carnival area to really save on coming to the fair. And we just truly believe that with all that we have to offer, really the fair is the best deal in town. And so with that, I just want to thank you for your time today and encourage you to, and anyone to connect with us on social media. Also, too, please, council members, watch your inbox for a special invitation to join us for one of our summer socials at the San Diego County Fair. And thank you very much for your time. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you. I don't see any requests to speak. I would say that Encinitas, proud history of association with the fair. A lot of food vendors are from Encinitas. The Pignottis have the fish and chips. The Plattuses have the Greek food. And the Crutchfield Concessions has always been a popular place for roast beef sandwiches. We have hot dog on a stick here for Diane Barham. So it's a lot of history of the fair food here in Encinitas. And then we had 4-H through the Eckies. So all big part of the fair, many, many years of history here, and it's always fun. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And if I recall last year, someone here might have even once worked at the fair.
Oh, more than once, yes, many times, and lots of long days and nights there. So yes, I have fond memories of the fairgrounds.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much for your time this evening.
Thank you. And while we don't have more presentations, I do want to acknowledge 3 very important celebrations this week. One is Nurse Appreciation Week. My wife has been a nurse for 40 years, and I certainly appreciate her, but we have a hospital here in our city that has a number of very important nurses that are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, so thank you to all the nurses. We have Teachers Appreciation Week, and I know that we have at least one teacher here in the room. I'm sure there are others, and so, you know, thank you to the teachers who we are appreciating especially this week. And then finally, to all the public servants, it's Public Service Recognition Week. So thank you to the city staff and anyone else here in the chambers who may be working as a civil servant. Okay, oral communication.
So Mayor, we do have 5. I will call you 3 at a time, and just a reminder, you each have 3 minutes, and this is the time to speak on items that are not listed on the agenda. First 3 speakers, John Bandy, Scott Campbell, and then Mark Maville.
John Bandy, Mayor and Council. I'm sure when you read the reports in the last few weeks about the dismal state of mental health of today's youth, the sadness, depression, detachment, and feelings of low self-worth, you wondered what you, as public leaders, could do to help. I grew up in a small town back in the United States. We had volunteer fire department, rescue squad, and I believe the mayor and council were unpaid positions. A little over a year ago, for the first time in 30 years here, I witnessed that sort of selfless volunteerism was when I met the folks running the San Diego Youth Softball League. Never have I seen a more hardworking, dedicated bunch of enthusiastic men and women, mothers and fathers, more purposefully helping give little girls a sense of accomplishment, a sense of pride and belonging. The girls gained confidence and made new friendships, all outdoors with no electronics, drugs, or vaping. What can we do to encourage and support these efforts? I have an idea. Why don't we charge little girls for the electricity to run the lights? The old, inefficient metal halide lights. I see our joint efforts with all the leaders of all the other towns have been unsuccessful in doing something about the pirates at SDG&E with their rates higher than anywhere else in the country. It is no wonder having to operate the electric grid in the harsh climate. We all remember the Glenn Campbell song, The Solana Beach Lineman. The state told me to replace my halogen bulbs with compact fluorescents. I dutifully did. The next, they told me to replace them with LEDs, and I did that right away. Did the state give us a grant to replace the old metal halide bulbs at the field? Can we have the crack staff who took 6 months to replace the chain link backstops replace the lights? Maybe by the time these little girls bring their daughters to play softball, we'll have lights replaced with efficient LED lights. Oh, and what about the other 2 backstops? Why not have little girls pay for those? You are urbanizing the town with high-density housing where the new occupants will have not a square foot of yard for their children to play in. The league has gone from 300 to 400 little girls that they serve. Remember, the trick for political cover when you are planning on doing something unpopular is to employ an expensive consultant to show that all the other towns are doing it. The other towns, Solana Beach and Del Mar, Athens. Encinitas is Sparta with sports, athletics, and outdoor activities at its soul. Have some leadership and forget what they do and do the right thing here and support these amazing volunteer efforts to help support our youth. Be proud of what you have done when they invite you to come and throw out the first softball again. And don't even think of charging little girls for the electricity to run your old, inefficient metal halide lights that should have been replaced by now. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, Council. My name is Scott Campbell, and I live in District 1. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations and thanks to all the kids and their parents for participating in the Youth Commission. I think that's wonderful, these future leaders. Last night at the Encinitas Academy, once again, I really recommend this thing. I went splody head when I learned that there's going to be a special signal at Leucadia in 101 with permissive turn signals. I don't know how it's going to work, but it's amazing that we're actually doing something for vehicles over the other traffic modalities. But that's not what really I'm here. I'm here to talk about Piraeus Point. Last week's Planning Commission meeting was pretty contentious, and they timed out. It was a great opportunity to come in, get ahead of the game. This is a rendering from the developers showing what it's going to look like. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. It's 148 units, 3 stories high. This picture doesn't even show the rooftops. This is in the view corridors. I don't think they really show stuff in the background. They're asking for some concessions and waivers. Just one small waiver to encourage 40% in these super steep slopes. That's not a small waiver, that's a huge waiver. It's 50,000 yards of dirt they want to take out. We're not even talking about where it's going to go. They don't want to do the underground lines, only 10%. And we got, there's a dilemma. Housing mandates or some of our city visions. This is one that's particularly interesting to me. If I look out my window when I'm doing dishes, I'm going to be looking eye level with these rooftop lights. There's no mention in any of this what they can or can't do up there. I would put up 2 TVs and have parties, and I would encourage my neighbors to. We would Airbnb it, and it would be Encinitas Party Town. We talked about that and other things. The Climate Action Plan. We just did the no smoking ordinance. How does that compare to the particulate matter and the diesel exhaust from the trucks? I mean, how many packs of cigarettes is that? I didn't do the math, but it just makes us sound silly. The ports of San Diego and Los Angeles are mandating electric trucks. Let's go for that. We can do this, mandate electric trucks. This is the biggest one. Are we just dumb or are we naive? How can we estimate 208 units we're gonna go in for low income housing and they're only gonna put in 15? We talked about this. This came up on the budget and the meetings a couple weeks ago. I got a couple options. There's probably some other ones, but I really encourage the council to go for number 3 here. Join with the other cities. It's kind of like with the riots and nobody got prosecuted. If we join with the cities, the state cannot stop us. Thank you very much for your time. And thank you again for the youth.
Next speaker is Mark Maville, followed by Geraldine Kessler, and then June Hansberger.
Yeah, she already said my name once, so Mark Maville here. I'm going to go through a plethora of few things here, just throw it out there for your information. Boots on the ground, knowledge is power. The homeless uprising that's coming, it's going to affect your tourism. Celebrities, as you probably well know, have been leaving in droves because of the homeless situation, the crime, and the property value devaluation. I think you just need to kind of look at that. Maybe there is another option. Puerto de Fina is not an option apparently, but got to get a handle on it now because it's coming. The cannabis huts, I mean, that's just going to perpetuate the drug and alcohol problem. They're not going to just sell marijuana. I hope you're aware of that. If there's an injunction, or you can slow it down, or the sheriff are gonna be right on top of it, cameras, that's just gonna make things worse. The cantina, Home and Away, and the other ones he owns, is been slowed down quite a bit by the sheriff. The attendance is way down. They've had some real huge violations, underage drinking. 5 units were wrapped around it about, I don't know, 3 Fridays ago. Won't get into that whole nightmare, but it did expose what was going on in there. So they're doing a great job on that front. And the last thing I think I want to talk about is the animals that, you know, people run their dogs and whatnot. If it's not a guide dog, it shouldn't be able to go into a restaurant. I mean, you got hair in your food. It's not sanitary. I've got a church that I do attend a couple of them, and if you don't have the certificate and you can't show that it is a guide dog, it ain't coming in. So I love animals, but come on now. I mean, you know, it just keep them outside if you can, but bringing them into a restaurant, library's okay, anything that doesn't have anything to do with food, I think that really needs to be looked at. If you can, I appreciate it. I know you got a lot going on, and I can see a lot of progress with you guys, Tony and your other guys here, other members, on taking care of things. You can see it. Things are happening. And I was a little negative when I first started, you know, a while back, but now I can see things. There is progress. We're moving forward. Bruce, he's right behind a lot of things, and I do appreciate what you guys do. This is good to have this, a setting like this, where people can come in and voice it, because it is the people's interest, right? Not tax revenue or anything like that. It's what, you know, we can do for the people, or what you can do for the people. So, thanks.
I would like to speak about the potential density bonus housing project on Melba Road that is slated to take down 175 trees and 30 smaller trees and native shrubs and demo 3 beautiful historical homes built in 1938 and another beautiful home built in the 80s. 3 of these homes are already providing low-income housings for the community. As I have mentioned before, the developer and owner continue to meet with the neighbors to find common ground. I would like to report there is some progress, but I cannot. These meetings only bring anxiety along with a sense of helplessness to these long-time tax-paying senior citizens, which has been going on for 3.5 years, along with the added stress of the pandemic bog. Residents with boundary trees experience more stress due to the way the owner and developer are not familiar with Encinitas boundary tree guidelines. I want to point out again, these seniors are simply looking out their window and know that the tree canopy is going to be taken from them, and it just doesn't seem right. This is not the way to treat Encinitas' longtime tax-paying seniors population. This property is rich in Encinitas history and has been used for agricultural purposes through the years. If you walk by the property, you see that this is one of the last remaining open spaces in the area, and it's loaded with mature Torrey pine trees that may be close to 100 years old. Please support the community in preservation of this property before it's too late, like that Fluvia property in Leucadia. The Jimenez and Fluvia property was almost identical to this property. That property was also rich in Encinitas history. The original owner of the property was Henry Potter, who developed and patented an overhead irrigation system, which helps with the development of the agricultural industry of South Coast Park, also known as Leucadia. Yet the historical report on this development was weak and said they could not find anything significant about him or other owners of the property. There was also 3 beautiful homes very similar to the homes on Melba Road, built in 1928 on this property that are now gone and will never get that piece of Encinitas history back. Let us not please pass up on this beautiful, sacred Melba property that is also rich in Encinitas history. Please support the community by acquiring this property with soft green infrastructure funding, community funding, state or federal grants, or a bond for open space. The property is ideal for an open outdoor STEM lab for Oakcrest Middle School and the other neighboring schools, which surely will be needing more space with all the housing projects coming in. This is also ideal for an open space park or walkable dog park, similar to San Diego, or an annex to the Botanical Garden, which has a connection with Anton Van Amersmith, who owned the Melba property. Thank you for listening.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is June Hansberger, and I am here to speak about issues in Northwest Leucadia. I am hoping to keep some safety issues in the forefront here. So first, I would like to address the parking along Vulcan Avenue in Northwest Leucadia and ask that it be changed to parallel parking. The pull-in parking has created a situation where the space is used for people to store cars, trailers, boats, and for more than weeks at a time, these items are parked there. In addition, many people park their vans and campers and use the area as free camping. Changing the parking to parallel would provide sufficient parking for the residents and visitors of the neighborhood and would create space for a walking path on the west side of Vulcan Avenue. We desperately need safe mobility along this corridor. This is our safe route to school, and it is not a safe route at all. Second, I am also asking that the council please reconsider replacing the always stop sign at Vulcan and La Costa with the previously designed light signal. A stoplight synchronized with the light at La Costa and 101 with a left-hand turn lane westbound onto Vulcan will alleviate the backup on La Costa that is often to the I-5. This signal will also help to reduce the current and future cut-through traffic in the neighborhoods in the surrounding area. As you are all aware, we have a lot of development coming to this section on the corner. It is already really impacted. We will be further impacted with 72 apartments that are already under construction at the Wormer site. There are also 5 other developments along the La Costa and Highway 101 corridor that will add 47 more hotel rooms and 104 residential units in this corridor. I know the stop sign was originally put in as an interim measure so that the feasibility of a roundabout could be discussed at this location. However, after many community meetings and consultants were hired, it looks like in order to put a roundabout there, we don't have enough space. The cost would be enormous. We would have to build retaining walls, and we also have the limitation of the bridge. As many of you know, I speak often about the already designed Hymettus roundabout that we have been waiting for 20 years. Hygeia roundabout that we have been waiting for 20 years for. That is a already designed roundabout that we still cannot get funding for. The traffic engineering department designed a beautiful stoplight for this intersection, put in left-hand turn lanes, and I really feel that it will alleviate a lot of our traffic and congestion issues until maybe potentially we could possibly make a roundabout and have La Costa as a street for everyone. But thank you very much for listening. I appreciate you considering this.
June, hopefully you are reporting the trailers and other illegal parking via the My Encinitas app.
Thank you so much for bringing that up, Mayor Kranz. I did want to let you know that we tried to do that today, and I think that Chris Ryan sent you some pictures of all of those today. She wanted to let you know that when you go to the My Encinitas app, the only option for parking issues are you have to call the sheriff directly. So it basically asked the citizen to call and report the issue. So she was hoping maybe she could reach out to staff and that there would be an option put in there to report it, and then you guys could follow up on that, because I'm not sure how we feel about reporting our fellow neighbors to the sheriff, but we would like the long-term parking issues resolved.
We'll take a look at that.
Thank you very much.
Mayor, that does conclude oral communications.
Okay, thank you. And we had no closed session tonight, so are there any changes to the agenda?
There is one change to the posted agenda. We are moving item 8I from the consent calendar, and that will become the second action item.
Okay, thank you. So that means we have items 8A through 8H on consent.
I'll move approval. I'll second.
Okay, thank you.
Kelly? Motion carries unanimously. Takes us to item 10A.
Okay, item 10A is the Youth Commission applicant interviews and appointment process. We have a group of highly qualified young folks who applied to serve on the commission, and I think it's appropriate that we hear from them in person. You all attached your resumes, I appreciate that, but we, I think, would benefit by seeing your presentation. So with that,
And then, Mayor, I'll just note that we do have a total of 11 applicants, and it is for the appointment of 9 applicants to the Youth Commission. And we did have an initial deadline. We only received 7 applications, so we did extend that deadline, and I did note which ones were received during that extended deadline.
got it.
So for the Youth Commission applicants, you have up to 3 minutes. I'm going to call your name. You can come up to the microphone, and you can present to the City Council. So I'm just going to go by grade. So our first 2 applicants are Sarah Charles and Quade Kelly, and they are both, will be in grade 9.
Hello, Council and Mayor. Thank you. I'm very excited to be here today. Thank you for considering my application. I am very excited to possibly have the chance to be on the Youth Commission. I am in 8th grade at Oakcrest Middle School and will be going to San Diego Academy as a freshman next year. I am currently in student government ASB at Oakcrest, and I love leading and being the voice of my school sometimes. I have planned fundraisers, the dance, and movie nights. It's very fun to be on student government at my school, and I would love to just increase that voice a little bit and be on Youth Commission. I know that Encinitas did not become the amazing city it is without many people having to influence that and make our amazing beach town the way it is. So thank you for listening and for considering my application.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Kranz, City Council members, and staff. My name is Quade Kelly. I'm 14 years old and live in Leucadia with my family. I've come here to apply for an appointment into the Encinitas Youth Commission for the 2023 to 2024 term. As a resident of Encinitas, I'm interested to learn more about the development and operation of city departments, policies, services, and youth programs in our community. Specifically, I'm interested in developing volunteer opportunities focusing on environmental stewardship and community youth programs promoting wellness, fitness, and health. Since experience is a part of consideration for appointment to the council, I prepared this brief video to show you more about who I am. Hi, I am Quade Kelly, but most people in my community call me Q. I'm a high-performing neurodivergent, meaning my brain works differently than most. I'm a rising 9th grade student at Pacific Ridge School, maintaining a 4.2 GPA. My peers awarded me the Curiosity Award, and the teachers have identified me as a hardworking student with integrity and passion for learning, sport, and service. I love to learn. At age 10, I was named the National Who Was History Beat Champion, and in 2021, I won the academic pentathlon competition, although I was one of the youngest competitors. I am currently a youth reviewer for National Book Awards and am an advanced reader for multiple national publishers. Regular movement is fundamental to my neurological success. With years of training, I am a scholar athlete competing in 3 sports: baseball, volleyball, and water polo. This year, I was named to the Pacific Southwest Division team for the U.S. Water Polo Olympic Development Program and will compete in the Junior Olympics this summer. My favorite Encinitas program is Junior Lifeguards. Last summer, I received the Waterman Award for Program Performance and Leadership. I will likely apply to be an Encinitas lifeguard one day to help others with this skill set. I'm currently working toward the Congressional Award, and I'm on track to be one of the youngest national recipients of the gold medal. This program requires 400 hours of service and is the country's highest honor for you civilians. I'm in my 3rd year as one of the 29 international reporters for Scholastic Kids Press.
I'm tied to jail, so I wanted to kind of do that.
With over 30 stories covering civics, business, science, arts, education, and entertainment, I've interviewed incredible and inspiring people. At many events, I am typically the only youth credentialed press. I was happy to represent Encinitas with stories that reflect my love of this community and the incredible people who call it home. The greatest lesson was about stories. We all have them and they connect us in powerful ways. Thank you for your time and making me a part of this story. Thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm
Our next speaker is from grade 10, and that will be Dylan Yarbrough. Is Dylan here? Do not see Dylan. Okay, we'll move to grade 11, and that is David Leschinsky and Benjamin Sue.
Hi, good evening, members of the City Council, and thanks for giving me the time to speak in front of you today. My name is David Leschinsky, and I'm a sophomore at Pacific Ridge School. A little bit about me is that I'm on my school's varsity tennis team and academic league team, and I'm a co-captain of my school's robotics team. So being a leader is a part of me and who I am. And also this year, I helped found and create PRS as the first NASA Hunch charter in all of San Diego. And I live in the Eleven portion of Encinitas, and I'm really excited to be here today to talk about my experiences as a member of the Youth Commission this past year and my passion for serving on it another year. Over the past year, I've really enjoyed my time on the commission, and I volunteered at a good number of events this year for the city, including but not limited to the Holiday Parade, the Easter egg hunt, and 2 different park cleanup projects. And while I've worked on a variety of work groups, I feel like one where I've really excelled is the intergenerational programming group. In this group, we work with the members of the Senior Commission to help plan events that bring together people of all ages. One of the events that I took the lead on planning this year was called Encinitas Techie Tutors. This was an event where we had students in the community volunteer to help out seniors with their technology, such as iPhones, iPads, and laptops. And this was very well attended and had a very good reception. A lot of people enjoyed this event. And currently, we're working with the other commissioners to help create an intergenerational game day for later this month. And if I'm able to continue on the commission, I'd love to continue working on these projects along with others in other work groups, and maybe even make these events more often in the year. And second, I think a variety of skills I can bring to the commission. I'm hardworking, diligent, and I feel as though I have a good tech skills that I believe will help with the commission, and they have been helping, and I feel like they'll continue to be helpful. And finally, having participated in numerous events this year and taking the lead on the Techie Tutoring event this year, I feel I'm in a better position to contribute so much more this coming year. And especially considering since most of the other commissioners who served on the intergenerational work group are graduating seniors and won't be there next year, I feel it's important for me to continue as a member so I can bring the much needed knowledge and experience to next year's working group. And then in conclusion, I want to thank you all for taking the time to listen to my speech today, and I hope you can see my passion on my enjoyment on how much I served the commission last year and how much I'd be grateful to serve it this next year. Thank you.
Hello, City Council. I'm Benjamin Sue, a 15-year-old homeschool high school student. I have lived in Encinitas my whole life, and in my free time, I enjoy surfing at Encinitas beaches and swimming on the Rancho San Dieguito swim team at the Boys and Girls Club in Solana Beach. Growing up, I participated in soccer, t-ball, and swim team at the Encinitas YMCA. I also attended Beach Kids and have taken classes at the community center. I love this city because it has afforded me all of these opportunities. I would like to be considered for appointment to the Encinitas Youth Commission because I care about the community that I live in. I want to participate in activities to help the community. Reviewing the 2022 to 2023 Youth Commission work plan, I saw many opportunities to learn about the community and participate in activities to help out. In particular, I would like to learn more about the city of Encinitas. I saw the Civic Engagement series where members of the Youth Commission invited speakers to educate commissioners on various topics regarding city policies. I'm also interested in the Habitat Stewardship Volunteerism Committee. I saw that commissioners helped around the city to remove invasive plant species. I heard about the Tech Help event hosted by the Intergenerational Committee. Because I'm interning at a software engineering company and I'm very technology oriented, this event interests me. I would like to do something similar if given the opportunity to join the Youth Commission. If I were to join, I have a couple ideas for new committees. My first idea would be an ocean safety ad hoc committee to educate the commissioners and youth of Encinitas about enjoying beaches while staying safe in and around the water. As a part of this committee, the Youth Commission could invite lifeguards to educate them. A second idea would be a youth volunteerism committee. This committee would educate other youth on opportunities to volunteer around the city of Encinitas. The city of Encinitas has been my home for my entire life, and I love the city because of what it has given me. If given the opportunity, I would love to give back to the city through the Youth Commission. Thank you for considering my application.
Now we'll move to grade 12. The first three, Carter Baloo, Colin Baloo, and then Luke Davey.
Hello, my name is Carter Baloo, and I served on the Youth Commission last year, so I'm applying for my second term. I'm a junior right now at San Diego Academy, and I'm going into 12th grade. On the Youth Commission last year, I have been working on a lot of different projects. Most namely, I worked on the holiday decor project, which was executed. I'm working on the Civic Engagement series, which we've worked with lifeguards over at Moonlight to set up tours and gotten speakers, and along with the mental health ad hoc committee as well. Where we're trying to educate youth of the city about mental health plaguing, which we've already touched on earlier, is one of the biggest problems that youth today are facing. So a little bit about me is I'm really interested in civics and politics. I'm a part of the speech and debate team at San Diego Academy. I'm the secretary, and this summer I have the opportunity to go to nationals in Arizona to compete for speech and debate. So I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, that deals with a lot of the politics of our nation, and it's a really fun outlet for me to get my voice heard. I think this commission is also a way I can get my voice heard in the community, and I can express my passions. Along with this, I volunteer a lot in the community, and I have my own startup that I start with my brother with our fruit business, and I just like giving back to the community. One other thing that I'm doing this summer is I'm going to Boys State, which is a program up in Sacramento where we learn about the state politics, and I think that's also a really good way for me to get my opinion heard. And in the future, on this commission, I would like to continue my work on the Civic Engagement series and also work on the intergenerational programming team. So I think I could bring a lot to the table. I think my passion and diligence towards politics serves me really well. And yeah, I'm excited to see what this youth commission shapes out to be. And thank you for listening to my application and considering me. Okay. Thank you, Mayor Kranz, and all other council members for the opportunity to share a little bit about me and why I'm interested in serving my second term on the Youth Commission. So a little bit about me. My name is Colin Baloo, and I'm a junior at SCA going into my senior year. And on the commission last year, I worked on the bike commission to promote e-bike safety within our community because it's becoming an increasing problem within our community with regards to safety and the lack of use of helmets in our community with young populations. And I also worked on the holiday decor contest and finding guest speakers, which helped us kind of open our eyes to the mental health issues in our youth populations today. And a little bit about me, I'm on the distance cross country team and track team varsity, and I'm one of 3 members of the team that's going to CIF this Saturday, where I'll be running the mile. And as a kid, I've worked to donate to charities such as the San Diego Food Bank through our all proceeds go to charity lemonade stands as kids, up to a recent event that I planned for our track team where I raised over $1,000 for the food bank, which will be used to help people that are experiencing food insecurities throughout our entire community. Also, I'm also going to Boys State, as Carter mentioned, which is basically a way to get more involved in learning about politics. And I'm very interested in local politics because I think that it's really important to learn about issues regarding our community and how we can help better and give back to our diverse community. Also, throughout the commission, I really enjoyed being involved in habitat stewardship programs, which allowed me to not only remove invasive species, which is good, to promote the growth of native species, but also learn about our ecosystem, which is extremely diverse because, we have beaches all the way ranging to mountains in Encinitas. And yeah, I think that being on the commission another time for a second term will really help me in the future about pursuing my passion for local politics and getting my voice heard in the community. So thank you so much.
Firstly, thank you City Council and Mayor Kranz for having me today. My name is Luke Davey. I'm a 16-year-old junior at SDA, and I've lived in Encinitas since I was 18 months old, and I very much appreciate the opportunity to be considered for the commission. In serving on the commission, I hope to represent the experiences of my fellow students in my local area because it is important for me to give back to a community that has been there for me my entire life. I will work diligently to represent the voices from every student of every background in our student body so they can have a personal say in every matter in the decisions made by their city council on issues like safety, student support, and local activities. Although I will not be in the local education system for much longer, I want to make an impact. The future of Encinitas should be decided by its local youth, should have major input from its local youth, as we are the population affected by all decisions made by the City Council and Youth Commission. I have been through every step of the path in both the Encinitas Union School District and the San Diego Union High School District in middle and high school. I have played in our local sports leagues and learned how to be junior lifeguard on our beaches. I participate in the local Casa de Amistad tutoring program in Solana Beach, where we help out underprivileged kids who don't have access to tutoring resources normally. I have experienced the downsides of our growing community, but also the positives. I remember jogathons, field days, and arts and market events, and how special these experiences are for the future generations. In joining the Youth Commission, I will not just work to tackle the minor challenges, but work to grow and preserve the events, activities, and experiences which students should be excited about in our community. In joining Youth Commission, I will try my very hardest to make our city a positive example for other local communities. Thank you for your consideration.
And then our next 3 speakers for grade 12 are Sophia Gonzalez, Harrison Kessler, and then Willam Ryan.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Sophia Gonzalez, and I'm applying for my 4th term on the Encinitas Youth Commission. I'm 17 years old, and I'm finishing up my junior year at San Diego Academy, and will be starting my senior year in the fall. so this will be my last opportunity to be a part of the Youth Commission. From my experience over the last 3 years and the vice chair of last year's commission, I am proud of the many improvements that we have made in the community, including things such as removal of invasive species, planting of natives, and general maintenance for the botanical gardens, as well as volunteering at many city events. I have really enjoyed working with the other commission members, and I feel like we have learned a lot from each other as we focused on the many goals that we put forward at the beginning of each term. In my opinion, we have accomplished more this past year than any of the other years that I've been on the commission, and it gives me high hopes and even greater expectations for next year's term. Looking forward, one of my primary goals is to find ways to support students struggling with the mental health challenges that we see all around us coming out of COVID, and finding ways that city programs can help facilitate that. Whether that means beach cleanups and other service work or social events where we can get off our phones and engage face-to-face, the Youth Commission gives us a platform for addressing these sorts of things. Thank you for this opportunity and your consideration.
Hi, I'm Harrison Kessler. I'm at San Diego Academy. I'm in my junior year. I wanted to say thank you for considering my application. I would like to join the Youth Commission at the City of Encinitas. I feel I have many attributes to contribute to this commission. I've always been an outdoors person, such as creating a garden with my dad around 9 years ago, slowly adding to it by expanding it and creating a water system for it. At my elementary school, Ocean Knoll, it exposed me at such a young age to be introduced to plants and gardening. I looked at planting to redo my front yard, which I did 9th grade summer, and made it a drought-resistant yard, which received an award for Best Drought-Tolerant Landscape Design in Encinitas. I've learned that working and helping with plants was something I found very interesting. So I volunteered for once during the summers at Coastal Roots Farm by harvesting and helping produce. Recently, at Ocean Knoll, they have let volunteers work at the garden to help the school and to make sure that the garden is growing well over the weekends, which I have helped with. I've been also helping with the canyon there by cleaning it out, by helping to protect the native plants to not be taken over by invasive species, and to be able to let the future kids enjoy it. Through all these experiences, I want to show my love for the outdoors by making a hiking club at my school where we plan and connect with each other on hikes around San Diego County. I feel like the Youth Commission is a perfect fit for me, and I will be able to share my abilities with teens and youth in Encinitas to show how important it is to be outside and in nature, which is beneficial for a person's well-being, and to be able to learn through experiences with the community. Thank you very much.
Hello, and thank you for allowing me to come here and speak to you guys today. My name is Willam Ryan, a junior at San Diego Academy. In regards to my interest in being a member of the Youth Commission, I thank you for allowing me to come here today and express my aspirations to contribute to the positive development of our community. Through my prior involvement in the community through Scouts and volunteering, I have been able to see the benefits of my actions. This positive change has made me realize the importance of contributing to society and helping others. As well as my public service involvement, my participation in various sports and activities has broadened my understanding of others and their situations. If I was appointed into the commission, I would be devoted to causing change by providing my valuable insight and knowledge. I would aid in creating tangible changes by focusing on improving the safety of our community and by bettering youth services and programs. I'm committed to fostering change in other ways as well. I would take initiative on educational, economic, environmental, and social issues that we face in everyday life. A major goal of mine is to bring our community together. One way we could do this is by donating unused recreational equipment to those in need, thereby helping youth become more active and involved. I would also work to increase road safety. With the increase in electric bikes in recent years, Many youths utilize these convenient vehicles to get around. While they provide freedom, they also act as a catalyst for danger. Many riders are not well educated on road safety skills, and due to this issue, there have been an abundance of accidents. I believe that a program educating children on road safety and etiquette will provide our youth with important and potentially life-saving knowledge. These are just a couple of the things I hope to accomplish if I were to be in the Youth Commission. Thank you for your consideration.
Mayor, that does conclude our applicants.
Okay, thank you to all of you for coming out tonight and speaking and for applying for this commission, which I consider to be one of the most important. Us old folks have kind of made a mess of things, and I'm definitely counting on you young people to save the world. So, you know, continuing to stay engaged is pretty important. So there's that. I also have been reflecting on early in my service on the city council, there were a number of applications, and that more than we had positions for, and so that night we decided that instead of cutting anyone, we would expand the commission. And while I'm tempted to do that again tonight, our ordinance doesn't allow that. So it's my understanding we would have to cut someone.
It allows for up to 9.
Pardon me?
The code right now allows for up to 9.
Up to 9, right. So I have a list of 9. I don't know if my colleagues have any recommendations, but if you'd like, I could read the 9 that I would recommend, I would nominate. So, pardon me? Oh, Deputy Mayor Lyons.
Thank you, Mayor Kranz. Well, I wanted to thank all the applicants for the Youth Commission for coming and speaking with us. It was quite an honor to hear you be so articulate, to understand what your skills and interests are, and to hear all the accomplishments. You must be very proud, and I hope and I imagine your parents are too. Thank you. I know that traditionally, and as we will tonight, the commissions, except for the Planning Commission, is the mayor's choice. So he will choose. But I just wanted to say a few words that I'm not sure if they'll be helpful, because this is going to be a hard choice. But I would always look to anybody that works together, any group of people that works together, to make sure there's diversity and inclusion, and that the skills are well balanced to represent many different interests on a commission. So thanks for demonstrating the breadth of all your interests and skills. I think that'll be very helpful. I do want to say I'm sorry that Dylan Yarborough was not able to be here tonight to speak, because I think it is very helpful when you are able to come, and I might just say that it's an advantage to those who were able to come. I also look at our commissions in terms of, I've served on a commission, and many of us here have, and I always am very happy to see incumbents, people who have already served on a commission, to come back and say they're interested in. Sometimes it takes a year or even more to ramp up and get used to what's happening and to know where your power is. So I think the incumbents who are here, that's a strength for you. And I guess the only other comment that I would say is, some of the students will be aging out of this opportunity, so I might lean in the direction of those who are older students, because the younger students, even though they're so well qualified, I hope they would remain interested and have other opportunities to serve in the future. Those are my thoughts, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Hinsey.
Thank you. This was a really great opportunity for us to hear from all of you, and I think it was due to our mayor that we got to hear from all of you, because often this is a consent item that we don't even get to see face-to-face the commissioners who are applying. So not only I think it's a really good opportunity for you to practice your public speaking skills, but also for us to know who you are and hear from you directly. So thank you. And you're more brave than a lot of the adults that we have come into our chambers and speak to us. So it really takes a lot of courage, whether or not you get appointed tonight or not. I would like to say just an observation generally how wonderful it is to have people who participated in our junior lifeguards program and our beach kids program here tonight, and I think that program does wonders to showing kids to have pride in our city and taking part in the physical environment that lends so much to our community's character. Just another observation is that we're really lucky here in the city of Encinitas that we have a majority of women serving on our city council, and I'm really proud to take part in that. And that is unusual in government, and I think when we look back to the history of our country, we often hear about our founding forefathers, and we don't hear much about the women who made these things happen. So I would like to just highlight Sarah Charles. Her application shows it's a little different than what you were suggesting, Deputy Mayor, because Sarah is one of the younger ones, 9th grade, I think. But just looking at her resume and seeing the ways that she's already doing a lot of the things that we do here as council members. She's in student government, participates in Meals on Wheels at the La Posada shelter. I think that shows that she's already committed to a lot of the values that local government has. And then I would also like to say that I think it's important Sophia Gonzalez be reappointed as a former vice chair. Under her leadership, a lot of the things, I saw a lot more action from the Youth Commission than I've ever seen before, including participation in the Habitat Stewardship Program and doing a lot more on the mental health front than we've been able to as a council. So those are my comments, and I'm not envious of you, Mayor Kranz, to have to make these appointments tonight, but thank you for giving me the chance to weigh in.
Thanks. Councilmember Ehlers.
Yeah, I'd like to echo a lot of those same comments that Councilmember Hines said. I agree, and boy, what an impressive group as a whole. Wow. There should be some very proud parents out there too. So I would like to second, I think it was Councilmember, go back on, there. Talking about the incumbency. I think those that are incumbent, you want to have some continuity and keep that continuity going. I really support that, especially when I believe it was Sophia was the vice chair last time, so you want to always I would recommend her, certainly. Age is important, but I think I would like to see a mix, and we have actually minimal of the younger grades. And so I think I would look to focus on making sure we include the few that we do have. And I think one of those includes Sarah Charles, which would echo what you said. So, and then if you don't get the one or two that don't get it, I guess two this time, I would encourage you to reapply. And I actually applied for a commission back in my 20s here at the city, soon after we incorporated, and I got turned down by our first mayor, and it didn't stop me. I reapplied and got onto the commission, and then got onto commission 20 years later, and then ended up here. So always reapply, keep at it, keep going. And I too do not envy the mayor on having to make this choice. So it's a hard one. You're a fantastic group, and thank you for applying.
Thank you. Councilmember Blackwell.
Yeah, I'll be brief because everyone covered a lot of what I wanted to say. I am glad I'm not making the choice. Sorry, Tony. I have an echo too. But I did want to say more generally, I appreciated the comments my fellow council members made about incumbency, about having a mix of ages, and about having people who've been really involved. But I would like to say, in January, I had to stand up at this podium and give my 3-minute spiel about why I should be appointed to the council. And it's hard to put your accomplishments and desires and engagement into 3 minutes. And I really want to say you all did a really great job presenting tonight. It does lift you off the page of what you submitted and gives you so much more character. I appreciate those that are really involved in native habitat and the intergenerational focus that some on the commission so far have been focused on, and then mental health. So I'm glad for those that have highlighted that. I think those are really important issues for all of us, including you as youth. And lastly, I just want to say, stay engaged. Again, like Councilmember Ayler said, don't give up if you don't get it tonight, but that engagement in your community is so critical and will lead to better things for the community and a more fulfilled life for each of you, I think. So appreciate you all applying.
Okay, thank you. And I appreciate all your sympathies. This is not easy, but here we go. I'm going to read off the names of the commission that I am nominating, starting with Sarah Charles, Quade Kelly, David Leschinsky, Benjamin Sue, Ballou, Colin Baloo, Sophia Gonzalez, Harrison Kessler, and Willam Ryan. And Luke, I'm very sorry. I appreciated you applying and hope that you will apply again in the future.
I'll second that.
Motion does carry unanimously. And I will just remind for those not appointed, although you're not a voting member of the Youth Commission meetings are open to the public. And so you do have opportunities to speak on items that are on those agendas that may be of interest to you, and to provide that input to the Youth Commission. So thank you all for coming tonight.
Thank you, Kathy. You took the words right out of my mouth. Good job. And thanks again, everybody, for coming tonight. All right, now we are moving on to item 8I, which became item 10B, because I wanted to put one of San Diego's finest teachers on the spot, Jerm Wright, and have him present to the full council and talk a little bit about what you've done. I know Jay Bell is with you, and you got a whole team of Campania Studios, so come on up. My granddaughter is a student at Paul Eckie Central School, and this team is engaged with the students of Paul Eckie Central to prepare and create this mosaic for the El Portal undercrossing, and it has been a lot of fun.
Great. Well, good evening, Mayor Kranz, City Council. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Jay Bell, and this is Jerm Wright, and we're with Campana Studios. We're here tonight to talk about, of course, the mosaic at the El Portal undercrossing. I think before we get started, though, something we've talked about the whole way is it's just important to recognize everybody that's been involved in this project for so many years. Previous councils, teachers, we have a few in the audience today, who are really brought not just the mosaic, but the whole project to fruition. We're the icing on the cake here tonight. We get to wrap the project up. To go through just our process, and then Jerm's going to walk through with the kids what we've done. Next slide. Great. So Campana Studios, we're a grassroots nonprofit, and we create platforms for visual artists to engage within our communities. Next slide. We were awarded the contract back in the fall of 2022 to work with the students grades 3 through 6 at Paul Eckie Central to design and fabricate a tile mosaic for 17 panels, 6-inch tile ribbon, and then 2 cairns that are at the El Portal undercrossing. Jerm Wright is our lead artist, and he's worked diligently with the kids since the fall. He's going to walk you through his process, and then we're going to show you the sketches and designs that the kids came up with.
All right, before I do that, I have a couple tiles. Am I allowed to approach the council? Okay, you can't just be all visual. You got to touch some things. So I'm giving you guys a couple tiles, and I'll explain what they are. Those tiles are thumbprints of the students from PEC, and we're going to have every student from PEC have their thumbprint in there to have that connection to it. So one of the first things I did was I had an assembly, and I talked to the whole school, and I even made boxes for every classroom for students to even put found objects. Even if they had a plate that they broke, we could possibly use it. From there, I worked with the art teacher at PEC and assembling, and the principal Seacrest, in getting a design team going. Is the design team here today? You guys want to raise your hands real quick? Okay, these guys are awesome. So I worked with a group of students at PEC coming up with ideas, drawings, the history, and as well as educating them in the history through the San Diego Heritage Museum, as well as my own background being third generation, my wife fourth generation in this area. And so from there, we took the drawings, the concepts, and then I went to the San Diego Academy where I teach and worked with some students, Sasha and Jaden and my daughter Lulu. It's short for Leucadia, by the way. So, and so they've been great doing the renderings here at UC in the classroom. So we will show you those drawings. And then also just to kind of keep in mind that I've been doing mosaics for over 20 years. I was a part of the Santa Fe Bridge project. I worked with Jim Gilliam on that, as well as Colette. And in fact, Tony had approached me about doing that with my class, and I said, let's make it a community project. And I love the Santa Fe Bridge project, just seeing the diversity of it. And so this has that same flavor. I have my Mr. Right hat on. This is not just a me project with my artwork. This is an us project. And so it's been really enjoyable working with the young people, and we're going to be fabricating all the tile from scratch when we're building this. So I think this would be a good time to start pulling out the drawings. And to keep in mind, I always tell people that we're showing you an acoustic guitar, but really we're going to be making a piano concert. So in other words, the drawings, you'll see the history and the composition there, but it's going to be very different as a mosaic. So if we get the students to roll those out, and we'll roll them out. So this is to scale, 1/4 scale. And if you guys want to just roll them out, and then that way you guys, maybe you can walk through City Council here.
Parade them through here.
So we have everything from the Kumeyaay Indians that the Pawlecky Central students educated me on. Can you pull it tight there, Jaden? There you go.
Okay, keep walking.
And then we got the Rancho Coastal Leucadia. We pulled in Roy's Market. One of the things that I'm really proud of in this is the Flower Festival Parade. If you were around here in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s, you would know about the Flower Festival Parade.
That's this one right there. I see it going by.
So.
And you did some flowers, didn't you?
And we did.
Play flowers.
And I was in the Flower Festival Parade at one point, skateboarding with tube socks. So. And you can see these papers are actually layered up. Underneath is all the scribbles and the writing, and it is quite a process to get to this point.
I see Noah's Ark is in there.
Yes.
Very good.
So I faintly remember that as a kid. Oh, you guys are doing awesome. And also being very aware that we can't have words in this project. So we really tried to make, especially when we got to the cityscape, making things using the iconic, some of the architecture of the area and the history of Encinitas.
I love the Panikin being pulled down the highway with the truck there.
And I purposely have it being pulled, let's see, south going north.
North.
And there's hints to it, Mayor Kranz, as it was a hobby shop.
Yes, it was.
So, Yeah, in the truck, there's like kites and paintbrushes and all that kind of stuff there.
I
too.
see you have an apiary too. That's wonderful.
Yeah, so.
Keep the bees in there.
So here's some of the kindergartners already giving us the thumbprints. And I run a ceramic studio at San Diego Academy, and so all of the tiles will be weatherproof. They're very strong. It'll last for years. So, and Mr. Bell, do you think anything I could add to this presentation?
Not really. One of the key elements that Jerm walked everybody through is, it's the history of Encinitas. And part of it, though, is what's your perspective on the history of Encinitas if you're, between ages 10 and 12 or 13. So a big part of this was also education on the history of Encinitas while honoring and respecting, the kids' point of view, since they are the designers for this project. And I thought it was great how you took it back to Paleolithic times, you took it into cosmic times, you brought it into the 50s, into the 60s, you brought it throughout time. So the concept of time, I think, was very creative. And looking at that historical period is so broad and vast. So it's a great learning experience for all, and it's been great to work with the school. We've got Principal Wes Seacrest in the back. It's been great to work with the school, and it's been a wonderful experience just all being able to work together on the project.
And just one last thing to add, too. One of the things we're considering is that there's a very sculptural element to it because it is a pedestrian walkway, and it's just like running your hand on a picket fence when you were a kid. And so it's going to be a very tactile piece. So that's one of the things I'm very proud of. A lot of artwork we're always told not to touch, but this is going to be in a walkway where it'll be sturdy. You can touch it. We'll have beach rocks in there. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and part of that too is really in terms of working with the city. This is essentially a multi-agency process here. We've got the school district, we've got the city, and just the flexibility and creativity of the city staff has been great in this, because this is not, we were selected in a qualifications process. This one's a little bit different than some of the other projects that you've done in the past, and I think it'll be a lot more dynamic because of it.
That's wonderful. Thank you. We do have some questions or comments from council members. So Deputy Mayor Lyons.
This is wonderful. I got the idea by the agenda item, but I'm so happy Mayor Kranz suggested you come and make it more real time. It's much more meaningful. I appreciate it. It's just, you have an amazing design team. I have a few, my head goes right to process, and I'm wondering, are the students going to continue to be involved in any, from here forward? How do they get
yes.
involved in the,
Yes,
they're still
I'm going to be working with
the-
them summer. I'll be having workshops where the PEC kids can come, as well as adding things to the mosaic. So yes, it's very student-driven. Like I said, I have my Mr. Right hat on for this project.
Very good. Now, my last question is, do you have a plan to archive the original drawings? Because I think the comparison of the original quarter-scale drawings to your final is really interesting.
Not yet, but I'm sure we'll hang them somewhere. So
It's something we can work with staff on and,
Yeah.
and respond, and figure out what they might like to do to memorialize those. But they are pretty exciting drawings.
Even if you just digitize, photographically. I mean, that's awesome. Thank you.
And I think that I was going to raise the possibility of asking the city manager to resource some staff to this project so that we could possibly have a documentary put together at the end of it. I don't think we included that in the budget. And as I've watched Jerm embark on this, he's been sharing on his Instagram page, and it just made me realize that having a little bit more of a formal documentation of the process, I think, would be interesting years down the road for people to be able to appreciate what went into it. So maybe at the end of this, as part of our motion, we can make that some staff direction. So were you done, Joy?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Hensy.
Thank you. Such a great presentation. I've been hearing about this project that is part of the El Portal undercrossing with ECI students for the greater part of 10 years. And every one of those years I thought, I wonder which children will be part of this project, and to see your faces and know that you're the ones that get to take part in this project is so epic. And also that Mayor Kranz's grandchildren are part of it too. That feels right. I always envisioned that it would be cool, but I didn't envision it would be this cool. And getting to watch the process, as you both posted throughout, has been like such a joy to see it. And I love that you're using found objects, and just every part about it to me is so Leucadia. Like, you know, maybe when it, God forbid, it breaks over the years, but we'll be replacing it with other found objects that other kids get to have their hand in. And just that it is this portal provided for the students to get to and from the ocean, the beach, the places that inspire them, Lou's Records and Panikin, and all of those places that have been so special since I grew up here as well. So incredible work. I think I wanted to ask a question about the little astronaut guy that's going through. Was that Mr. Roy from?
Yes. Yes.
So Carolyn Cope, his daughter was here earlier tonight, and I wish she would have stuck around to be able to see that. Yeah, because she still has those photos and has shown them to me through the years. So I'm excited to keep seeing things in there that maybe I didn't see in this first go around. But yeah, truly beautiful work that speaks to the essence and the eclecticness of our funky town. So thank you so much, and all to the students and Principal Seacrest as well for making it possible.
Yeah, I don't think you can enroll a 2-year-old in kindergarten yet, so can't formally
How about a
have
9-month-old?
Lakey- Yeah, can't formally have Lakey participate, but I hope she's out there when they're putting things together, maybe put some fingers in it, so that'd be great. I see no other comments, so Mr. Seacrest and your team and the parents and Jeremy and Jay, thank you very much for your efforts on this.
After the motion, would it be possible to get the kids up here for a picture?
One speaker.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
We do have one speaker,
Excuse me.
sorry.
When everything's done, though, can we get a photo with the kids?
Yeah, sure. 2 speakers.
So we have Wes Seacrest. Were you speaking, or just Kira and Rock? So we have Kira Hopper and Rock Redfern.
Thank you, Council, for this opportunity. I think it is important that you hear from the kids because they are the ones who are inspiring us. And I want to echo what you said, Kelly, about a legacy project. I think it's going to be beautiful for these kids to come back in 10, 20, 50 years, even when they have their own children, to be able to see the work that they left behind. So thank you for this opportunity, and I'll turn it over to Kira first.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kira Hopper. I'm 10 years old, and I was born and raised in Encinitas. I've been a current student at Pollocky Central since kindergarten, and I'm now in 5th grade and a member of the PC design team. Today I'm here to speak to you about the El Portal Underpass project and the PC design team. The PC design team is a wonderful group of students who have gotten an amazing opportunity to express their thoughts on how to make Leucadia a better place through their imagination and artistic skills. So far, the team has been brainstorming ideas to put in the tiles. We have been thinking of Leucadia's past, future, present, and things that represent Leucadia, things that make it unique. We have even thought of our school's past and its impact on Leucadia, for example, the old schoolhouse. We have also thought of the events that shape this place, such as the Flower Festival. Soon the students will be participating in art class to use natural products, such as shells and rocks, to create a landmark that will hopefully be approved and that can be honored and remembered for years to come. We appreciate your time and consideration, and we hope you have a good rest of your evening. Thank you.
Hello, I am Rock Redfern from Pollocky. I'm in 5th grade, and I'm really happy that I'm able to be a part of this design committee. I think it's really cool that all the kids get to put a piece into it, and like how like this could be standing for like hundreds of years from now. So it could be and how we've put in pieces of history of Leucadia into the art. I think that art could represent a town and its culture, and that could be very important, but also that you can just see it in your everyday life and see something beautiful. And I thought that was really interesting. Yeah, thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. And I see some future youth commissioners in the audience tonight, so appreciate all the efforts. And with that, I would move that the council accept the Commission for the Arts recommendation and vote to approve the El Portal undercrossing mosaic design for fabrication.
I would like to have the honor of seconding that motion.
Yes, ma'am.
Would it be appropriate to consider a friendly amendment to include manner of archiving the original artwork, or is that okay?
Yeah,
not to?
sure. We could add that to the motion to archive and document as resources allow in the IT
Ask the
department.
Director of Recreation and Parks to respond to how we might do that.
Thank you, Mayor Kranz. We are already documenting this process, and we actually have had a meeting with IT to talk about how we could make this into a documentary that you've requested. And then also we definitely could, we can either scan in the original artwork and digitize it, or we can take photos of it, so we'll work on that as well.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
It doesn't.
Would just make it staff direction.
It sounds like it's covered.
All right. Thanks.
You get a picture with the kids with the drawing up
A
here? Would that be
picture
acceptable?
with the team.
Come on, kids, come on, bring your drawing.
Hey, Travis, oh, thank you. Can she take a photo? Thanks for this. Thanks, Colette.
Awesome. Way to go, guys. Way to go. All right. Thank you, guys. Nice work. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Those are a couple thin prints we got to put out.
Every day. Every day is like oh, look out, this part. So weird to see them.
Okay. So that takes us to, there are no informational items. There are no council member initiated items. And next would be 13, city council member reports pursuant to AB 1234.
I'll go first. Nothing to disclose.
I had this week, a Encinitas Wastewater Policy and Finance Committee meeting, and there was a budget increase recommendation that committee is making to the main board. And to Encinitas, it would estimated increase for this year's budget of under $50,000.
I have nothing to report.
I have nothing to report.
Okay, I have, we had a sand egg meeting, and we started the process of the 2025 Regional Transportation Plan update, and there will be robust outreach to not only Caltrans and the transit agencies in the county, but also each jurisdiction, because a part of the Regional Transportation Plan includes incorporating bicycle and pedestrian facilities as well. So we can anticipate engaging in that. I also want to report, not under 1234, but under a tremendous amount of pride, that we had a successful State of the City address at the community center, and I appreciate all of your contributions to that, the Main Street Associations and the Chamber of Commerce as well. And we had a big slew of generous sponsors, Cox Cable, RPG, and Scripps Hospital, and some of the great businesses in our community helped to support that event, and I think it was a great evening, and I appreciate you all for participating in that. We also, a week later, I was at the community center again for the mayor's prayer breakfast, and we got to celebrate the diversity of our faith-based community here in Encinitas, where we have the San Diego Interfaith Ministerial Association, which has several Christian church denominations. We had Baha'i, we had SRF, we have the Jewish faith organizations, we have Muslim. There was a call to prayer as part of the breakfast, so it was a great morning, and I thank Allison and Joy for joining me, and the city manager and her team for putting it together, especially Jen Blees. So just was a great week to celebrate all that makes Encinitas great. And with that, city manager reports? Nothing to report. City attorney reports?
Briefly, I'd just like to inform the council that a couple of days ago, former council member Joe Mosca was appointed as the interim director or interim CEO of the Orange County Power Authority up in Orange County.
Wonderful. City clerk reports?
Nothing to report?
Nothing to report. Okay, with that, we're adjourned. Thank you all.